Let's go now. It looks
you.
like things are going to be delayed a little bit in the Senate. It was supposed to stand in recess until 12:30. It's going to go longer than that. Joining us now is the person who's going to be in that chamber very soon, North Dakota Republican Senator Sen Cramer. Senator Cramer, it's great to see you. Where do we go from here?
Well, it's a great question. I think we'll know hopefully within minutes or hours at least whether some stipulation can be made, whether there's some agreement on what your panel was talking about, the number of witnesses and how to move forward. All of this, of course, has been very upsetting to what was otherwise a pretty clean and clear schedule and an agreement between the parties. But what has happened here, to quote another famous politician, is they have unleashed a whirlwind. And they now have, they being the House Democrats, who have surprised evidently even their own leaders in the Senate, have to find preferably, I guess, a graceful way out of this. But I can tell you there are a lot of people on our side that are ready to have this last for 10 months if it takes 10 more minutes.
Wow, we heard Michael Vanderveen, the president's attorney, saying that there was an agreement with the House managers to not call any witnesses. Do you know if in fact there was an agreement?
Yeah,
and was that agreement thrown out the window this morning?
Yeah, I think what the attorneys were talking about was an agreement between House or Senate leadership, that a stipulation, if you will, or the idea that we would have no witnesses, that either side would have no witnesses. Of course, that all got blown up when the House managers called for witnesses and changed their minds. The problem is, you might have noticed, and I think this is a pretty important thing to keep track of, when Mr. Raskin changed his mind and then was asked, were you coordinating this with Senate Democrats? He said no, and Mr. Vanderveen said, I'd like to depose that, because I think it's been pretty clear all along that the House managers and Senate Democrats have been coordinating. Now, I don't take issue with that, John. That's politics. It's a political arena. But he did say that they didn't. So there's an awful lot of drama at play right now.
Yeah, well, we do know that Senator Cruz and Senator Graham have also spoken with the president's defense, so clearly there's some communication. But as you point out, saying no and then having it be yes is a different thing. When you say that you're prepared to drag this out for 10 months or so, do you really think that it could go that long, or could this be over maybe middle part of next week?
Well, first of all, remember the Senate's supposed to be in recess next week, so depending on what kind of a resolution the parties agree to, it would be my expectation that there would be some sort of a motion that would include next week's President's Day recess continuing. But here's what's at play, John, that's so critical. The Senate is not supposed to be able to do anything other than impeachment while impeachment is still going on. And so that means when we do get back to this, whether it's in the next hour, tomorrow, next week, or the week after, we've been very generous as Republicans. We have been having meetings with Senate with nominees to the cabinet. We've even had markup votes in committee. We've even had committee hearings. All things that you're not, by Senate rule, obligated to do. We've allowed that to keep the government functioning, even though we're in the minority. They need to have at least one Republican to continue business on any day of the week in any chamber, including committees, because they can't get a quorum without one, and the Vice President does not count toward a quorum. Our cooperation is being flushed, if you ask me, by this action today. They have turned the United States Senate into a kangaroo court, and there's a lot of upset people, including me.
Senator Cramer, we're just looking at some pictures on the right-hand side of our screen of Senator Romney talking to some reporters. We don't have audio of that, so let's keep going with you. I just want to bring up something that you said, I guess, maybe on your way over to speak with us, and we appreciate you taking the time. There's talk that maybe there's a stipulation of Congresswoman Herrera Beutler's statement goes into the record and then leave it at that.
There is some talk of that. That would probably be the most peaceful way for the House managers to back out of this mess that they've made for themselves. We know why they got into it. They got their heads handed to them yesterday. The Constitution was actually actually read in parts of it, actually case law actually read and put on the screen, and they got their heads handed to them. Their base got upset, so they did this. I imagine they'd like a graceful way out. That would be a graceful way out if, now it's hard for me to imagine, but maybe it's possible that the president's lawyers would stipulate to that without at least providing another another statement from somebody that might be on the other side, maybe somebody like Kevin McCarthy. But if we go to full depositions, I'm telling you, Nancy Pelosi's going to have to be deposed about what she knew and when she knew it, why she didn't adequately protect the Capitol when the House managers have already put in the record that there was a lot of intel that predicted this stuff, and so this could go on for a very long time if they want to continue with these kind of shenanigans.
Let me just come back to this idea, and I know you've got to run in a second. Let me just come back to this idea of entering Congresswoman Herrera Butler's statement into the record and leaving it at that. What are the chances that that could happen?
Well, I'm surprised it hasn't happened. My sense, John, is with every minute that goes by that hasn't been stipulated, it makes me think that it's not being stipulated to. So I thought a half hour ago that would be an easy one, maybe even 45 minutes ago, or whenever I first heard about it as a suggestion, I thought, well, this is the easy way out. Everybody can calm back down. Relationships can, that have been severed just in the last hour or so, can be rebuilt, which will have to happen. But the fact that we're still here outside of the chamber rather than inside the chamber leads me to believe that it's not as simple as that.
Well, I can see on the right-hand side of our screen the words quorum call are up over the Senate, so we should probably let you go. Senator Cramer, great to talk to you. We'll keep watching what's transpiring, and please come back and join us after we get a next break in the Senate. Appreciate it.